So starting off, what I usually do is kind of just brush my eyebrows out. I then get my C02 concealer brush, it's a flat brush, along with my Catrice concealer, and I just shape out my eyebrows. So kind of mapping it out in a straight line, this is just to prep the eyebrows. Following the shape of your eyebrow, and then you stop at the point. Once you have the concealer lined and your eyebrows mapped, you start blending the concealer down along your eyelid. Blend it into your skin. Then what you do is use the flat side of your concealer brush, the same brush, your 02 brush, add more concealer and start applying the concealer all over your eyelid. This is just to prep your eyelids and give it a base for your eyeshadow. So the colour of your eyeshadow will stand out more. Then you use your C05 brush just to kind of buff out the concealer and make sure it's not wet. Next you get your C12 brush and use your shade Basic and just pat on the eyeshadow onto your eyelid, building up the colour. Once you have a pat on your eyelid, then get the brush, place in the outer corner of your eye, and then circle motions along your crease. You start blending back and forth the eyeshadow just to build it up. And make sure you're holding the end of the brush and you're applying the eyeshadow real softly. You want to be real soft-handed in order for it to become more smoky looking. So you keep blending out until you're happy. Next, what you do is use your C10 brush, and the second eyeshadow you're going to be using is Hall. You dip into eyeshadow, same step again. Place the eyeshadow on the center of your eye. Your next technique is slightly different. So to build up the colour, what you do is place the brush in the outer corner of your eye, slide it back and forth along your crease, just building up the colour. At this very moment, you don't really worry about the blending. All you do is just worry about packing on the colour and building it up. When you have enough eyeshadow built, then you can place the brush back in the outer corner of your eye, and where the harsh line was, blend over that in circle motions along your crease back and forth. Don't bring the eyeshadow up as far as the first eyeshadow, the first shade you used. The reason you don't go as far up is because you want to see all the different eyeshadows. You don't want them all merging and blending together, where it just looks like one shade. So when you're happy with that, you go back to your C12 brush and dip into the first eyeshadow, which is Basic, and just blend over that second shade you used in small circle motions. And you blend those softly, back and forth, making sure you're holding the end of the brush because you want it done lightly. So next what you do is your C02 brush, concealer brush, add some concealer, your Catrice concealer, onto the side of that and place it on the centre of your eye. And once you have a bit of concealer added to the centre, wipe away any excess product onto the tissue, onto the wipe, and start dabbing around the circle of the concealer, just the centre of your eye, and then start pulling the eyeshadow along the circle, all around the concealer. It's just to merge it together and just kind of soften the eye look, so it's not too harsh, not too dark. Once you've that done, you get your C12 brush, your first eyeshadow again, which is Basic, and blend around the concealer, just so the eyeshadow and concealer blends together. So next you get your liquid eyeliner, you start in the inner corner of your eye, then map out a small line directly above your lash line. You start off with your small lines, and then you go back to the start and you start building up the eyeliner thicker. So this way then you won't make a mistake. If you just try to go in doing the eyeliner thick, you're bound to make a mistake. But whereas if you do it small and build it up gradually, you'll get it done perfect. And when you're doing eyeliner, you always make sure it's matching up with the opposite eye, so it's the same size. Next then, what you do is get your concealer, apply some underneath your eye, use a C05 brush just to kind of blend out the concealer underneath your eye in circle motions. Holding the end of the brush just so it's kind of softly done. So what you do then is you get your C12 brush, your first eyeshadow, which is basic, and apply some eyeshadow underneath your eye, looking up, holding the end of the brush, holding the brush at an angle, and applying it back and forth real softly underneath your eye, and just building up the colour. You then use your C9 brush, use your second eyeshadow, which is Hall, and apply some eyeshadow underneath your eye. So same step as the last, back and forth, real eye-handed. To soften it out, you go back to your C12 brush with your shade Basic, softly apply the basic over the second eyeshadow. You then use your C11 brush on your fourth shade, which is Blackout, and same step again, apply it underneath your eye, back and forth. This is just to make the eyes more dramatic, to make it stand out more. Then with your eyeliner pencil, you apply some eyeliner just along your waterline. So next what you do is you get your C14 brush. Either your C14 brush, and if you have a liquid liner or a gel liner. So with your C14 brush, what you can do is you can use that to apply your eyeliner with a gel liner, but in your kit you have a liquid eyeliner. So on the outer corner of your eye, you just map out a straight line, and where you done your concealer on your eyelid, you meet up the eyeliner so it creates a point. Then using your C01 brush, you apply some primer onto that and apply it all over your face. Once you have the primer applied onto your face, you just let it kind of set into your skin for 5 minutes before you go ahead and apply some foundation. It's just so you get longer lasting foundation and wear on your face. Whereas if you're rushing to put on foundation, what happens is your foundation becomes patchy and you don't get long out of it. It starts to run off your face after a couple of hours. So next what you do is use your C03 brush along with your foundation, your Catrice Camouflage Foundation. And just apply some foundation all over your face. What I like to do is I apply foundation onto the areas I'm going to put in it, just so I don't waste foundation. You don't want to use too much and kind of waste it. Once I have the first coat done, I like to always top up on the second, just so I get more full coverage. So if you're going a night out, you want full definition coverage, so you're better off to do 2 layers. Whereas if you're around the house, it's just a day out, 1 coverage is good enough. All depending on the person. I then get my concealer, apply it underneath my eyes, use a C05 brush just to kind of blend it out. And then you can just use your foundation brush just to kind of blend over that concealer, so the concealer and foundation blends together, not 2 different shades. Then using your C07 brush and your contour palette, apply some contour to your forehead. That just gives an illusion of a smaller forehead. Your chin, jawline, that gives illusion to an oval face shape. And then I apply it to my cheekbones as well. Just gives it more structure to the jawbone and the cheekbone. And apply it to the bridge of the nose. It gives an illusion of a smaller nose. Next, what you do is get your blush and the same brush again, your C7 brush. Apply the blush to the apples of your cheeks, just to give the face a bit of warmth and colour. So what I do now is get your highlight, your 3 shades in your Carnival palette. Use the lightest one. A along with your C6 brush and apply it to the inner corners of your eye, just to brighten up the eyeshadow. Apply some highlight to your nose, your forehead, your chin and above your lip, and then along your cheekbone, just to brighten up the face. Then get a wipe your lips to remove any excess foundation that might have gotten onto them. When you have that done, you get your lip liner and just trace over your lips, just outline them. So you're just tracing out your lips. And then apply some lipstick onto your lips, straight after your lip liner. So always do your lip liner before you do your lipstick. Lastly, what you do is your eyebrows. So you get your eyebrow kit, your Rimmel Brow This Way, and inside that you have two brushes. You can either use the angle brush or you have a C14 brush in your brush kit. So firstly, what you do is, there's two sides of that Rimmel kit. There's a gel and there's a powder. So use your gel first. Use whichever brush you like, either C14 or the angle brush in that kit. Trace out underneath your eye, your eyebrow. You already mapped it out from the start when we prepped it with concealer. Just follow that shape, trace them out, and then you trace out on top of the eyebrow. When you have the eyebrow traced with your gel, you fill it in with the opposite side of that Rimmel Brow This Way kit. You use the powder side and just fill in your eyebrow, the center, colour it in. And then that's your makeup look done.